Thank you, Yesi. Shara, I will use mixed language ya, bahasa and English as usual.
No
Uh,
problem. Go ahead.
so thank you, Yesi, for the time and the team from Foodex. Um, I think this is the first time for me and Shara to meet the team. I visited Foodex before 2 years ago to meet Ibu Jenny and to do our presentation and our 101 capability presentation, but I'm not sure if Pak Wahyu and the team have received before. But today, in particular, we are going to present about our plant-based capability. And for Shara, just for your knowledge, Foodex is one of the biggest seasoning house in Indonesia. Other than that, Foodex also produce some retort product, retort dessert, and also retort meat. Ada belum ya, Pak? Kayaknya belum ya, Pak, kalau retort meat ya. Yang saya ingat yang bubur-buburan ya waktu itu ya, sama sama rendang udah ada ya. Okay. And some we thought savory dish, rendang, you know rendang, right? Yeah. So I think without further ado, Shara will bring the presentation, and after that, feel free to discuss and let us know what you need or what is not what support that you require from us. So Shara, I hand over to you.
Okay, thank you, Yessi and Eddie. So just give me a moment to share my screen with all of you. So I will be, to save some bandwidth, so I will be
Ya, biar
shutting
nggak
off
nge-lag.
my
Ya,
video. Yeah.
biar nggak nge-lag saya tutup video juga, Pak.
Okay, so can I just ask if everyone can see my screen clearly?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, all good. So everyone can, it's all in terms of sound, and also the slides are all good to go. So,
Yeah.
yep. All right. Thanks, Eddie, for confirming. So again, today, thank you very much to the whole Fodex team and also our partner in Indonesia, Yesi and Amo, for joining us today in today's session. So as what Eddie briefly mentioned, today it's all about the plant-based meat and fish alternatives. So we would like to share with you our capabilities and know-how in this particular category that is exactly booming already right this time into the market. So if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to jump in, unmute yourself, and voice out your questions or clarifications, any particular queries that you would like to be addressed, and we will do our best to answer them. So the content of today's presentation is basically to share with you what are the market trends and opportunities in the market with regards to the plant-based meat category, as well as the seafood, the plant-based seafood category. And what are the challenges in producing them, in coming up with a very competitive product in as far as taste, nutrition, and texture are concerned for these type of products. And then we will share with you our integrated solutions for this type of application in terms of the health and nutrition aspect, the taste aspect, and likewise the texture. And then last but not the least, we will be sharing a couple of our concepts and prototypes applications that have been developed in DSM, in particular for these plant-based meat and plant-based fish alternatives. So to start with, let's look at the market with regards to what are the trends and opportunities for this category. So basically, if you recall, a couple of years back, it's not yet as big as what it is now for the plant-based meat category. Back then, there were only two brand names that were popular. It's actually just the Impossible and the Beyond Meat. And fast forward to today, there are already many brands available in the market. And likewise, there are many segments, consumer segments that have already mushroomed out, propelling the growth of this category. And one of those consumer segment is actually the flexitarians. So they are actually the ones driving this plant-based boom. Before, it was just the vegan and vegetarians patronizing this kind of product. product. But now, because of the flexitarian consumers who are much more flexible, more adventurous in trying out new types of experiences in terms of the food products available in the market, so then it becomes now a much more lucrative category to go into. And by having said that, the vegan and the vegetarian group now is becoming a little bit smaller compared to the flexitarians. So there's much more focus on plant-based claims rather than just focusing on purely highlighting vegan or vegetarian claims, because the plant-based becomes more inclusive and appealing. That means you are also covering the other types of consumer segments that are not really very strict with their plant-based diets. So with regards to innovative offerings, there are already some expansion as well with regards to the nutrition propositioning of the product. There are now more highlights with regards to improving the nutritional aspect of the plant-based meat and plant-based fish, and also expanding the product format. What are the types? So as I've mentioned before, we just started with burgers, two brands of burgers, the Impossible and the Beyond Meat. But now we have also other options of plant-based products. There are now dumplings, there are now minced meat, meatloaf or plant-based meatloaf. There are many options available to us. So it really has gone and grown so far. Likewise, younger generations are also the ones shaping the demand for plant-based foods. So I think because owing to their more adventurous spirit, and again, they're looking for more experience. With regards to what are the next big thing after the burgers, after the nuggets, it's actually the vegan fish and seafood that is considered the next big category that's in the pipeline for most food manufacturers. And because of the world we're currently living at due to the COVID situation, so pandemic shocked consumers will still seek products that support human and planetary health. So there will be really a much more focus with regards to the needs and wants of consumers in consuming a much healthier type of product. So the photos that you're seeing here, these are just some examples of the products available right now in the market across Asia. So we just lifted some that are available in our market in APAC, but there's one that's already launched recently, still available in Europe, not yet in Asia. But the concept of this product, which is the plant-based tuna, is also becoming it's getting a good traction for some tuna manufacturers in the region, in the Philippines, in Malaysia, in Vietnam. So they are also looking at the opportunity of this particular product segment, and they would like to bring it here as well. So that's one option for us, because I've mentioned vegan fish and seafood is the next big category in the pipeline. So vegan tuna is something that is to watch out for. And if we talk about the complex challenges, what are the common pain points that consumers and customers have with regards to the plant-based meat and plant-based fish? So there are many attributes that need to be addressed to be able to come up with a competitive type of product. So in DSM, we try to identify what are the most important and the most common pain points that consumers have, and these are the following. So the first one, of course, has something to do with masking of off notes and delivering umami and meaty flavor, because as you all know, of course, typically the plant-based meat will lack of that meaty flavor or meaty taste, and likewise for the seafood-based or the fish-based types of products, they will lack that seafood or fish taste owing to the properties of the plant-based materials. And then next is about fatty mouthfeel, juiciness, and succulence. Again, because most plant-based products are made out of plant-based protein sources, and naturally these products can tend to deliver a dry food application. So that's why this is a gap that is commonly found in plant-based types of products that we need to address as a food manufacturer or food ingredient supplier. The third attribute has something to do with texture, firmness, chewiness, and bite. Of course, consumers still have this expectation that the product, whether it's plant-based meat or plant-based fish, should still somehow mimic the structural property of that of a typical real meat or a real seafood. So that's why this is also an important pain point, an important attribute that we need to address. And last but not the least, when we talk about the nutritional aspect of the plant-based foods, it also has something to do with the nutritional quality overall, but as well as managing the sodium level. Because right now there are some debates with regards to how healthy really is this type of product. Is it really sufficient enough to claim that these plant-based products are much healthier compared to other types of foods available in the market, specifically on the sodium level? Because if you look into a product sample in the market and read all the labels, you will oftentimes see that the level of sodium is relatively high compared to, let's say, a typical chunk of real meat. So that's why this is becoming like an important aspect for the food manufacturers to address, that we need to make sure that the level of the salt is well managed. So all in all, these are all the aspects, the complex challenges that we need to overcome. And in DSM, we were able to find the tools and the right solutions to address them. So apart from these, with regards to what consumers are also looking at in a nutshell, it's basically taste and texture that come first. So whenever they ask us with regards to what solutions can you offer that will improve taste and texture of our products. So this is really because these are the main key aspects of plant-based foods that drives the liking and purchase of these types of products in the market. So as you can see here, when we did a survey, a consumer survey in different countries, where it was actually included here in Indonesia, and we asked them what are their thoughts in terms of what will make them buy the product, regardless of the format. As you can see here, be it a burger, be it a nugget, be it a sausage, or any other types of or formats of products, their likability and dislikability will be rated based on their taste and texture. So it's important to say the least that these main aspects of the plant-based meat and plant-based fish have to be addressed very well. So by having said that, we are happy to let you know that in DSM, we have the full integrated solutions that will allow you to create signature products, whatever will be the plant-based protein source that you will use in the recipe. So it's in different contexts. We have ingredients that will satisfy the need for delivering the authentic taste. So we have the yeast extracts, the processed flavors, taste modulator that can address all the gaps with regards to taste. And then second, we also have texturants or hydrocolloid systems that will be able to address the requirement for texture and mouthfeel, improving the overall quality, firmness, bite, etc. And then third, with regards to the nutritional profile, as you all know, DSM is the world leader for manufacturing and selling nutritional ingredients into the market. So in particular for plant-based meat requirements, we have specific ingredients that can also deliver improvement in overall nutritional quality of the plant-based products. And last but not the least, again, to highlight the management of sodium content, we also have suitable ingredients for savory products that showcase low level of salt content. So whenever we say low level of salt content, typically standard yeast extract will have about 40%, 39 to 40% of salt level. So we do have a range of products that will have less than 1%, less than 2% of salt content. So that will be able to meet the requirements of the market and the consumers with regards to consuming a low salt type of plant-based product. So based on our experience, some manufacturers and some of our customers typically require for an overall salt content in a product application of about 1 to maximum of 1.5%. So that's why whenever we develop our product application, our demos and concepts, we always see to it now that we are within that level of maintaining that 1% in overall product application or 1.5% to a maximum for salt content. Is there any question at this point so far? None? All good. Okay, thank you very much.
Ada pertanyaan ya, Kak? Oh, apa, Pak? Pertanyaan apa? A previous slide, Sarah. Yeah.
Correct. They are like 50-50. So this question is whether, what do you think of those products available in the market right now? For example, we asked them for plant-based protein, plant-based protein burger that you find in the market right now. Do you like them or do you dislike them? How is it in terms of acceptability? So yes, so 38% said they like it. 26% said, no, I don't like it, I will not buy it. And the rest, undecided, whether it's 50-50 for them, depending, they're still looking for something else that will let them decide whether they want to try the product or not try the product. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Sorry, say it again. The sensory modulators for the hydrocolloids, is it? Okay. So for the delivering of authentic taste, the sensory modulators are basically taste modulators. So in DSM, we have a product that we call Mojumax. So this is an ingredient. It's a natural flavor. It's not a technically, we do not declare the product as a yeast extract, but rather it's a natural flavor, but also made out of yeast. So it's like a purified cell wall. So we employed a high-level technology to be able to produce this kind of product. So what the taste modulator does is that it's basically doing the taste repair whenever you do food minus or food plus applications. So food minus pertains to salt reduction, sugar reduction, or fat reduction. So when we do these types of application, typically there's always a sacrifice in taste because whenever we take out these ingredients, there will always some negative effect in the product. So for example, for the sugar reduction, there will be some losses in not just in sweetness, but also in body, in mouthfeel, in heaviness, etc. So our sensory modulator or Mojumax will be able to address those gaps, bring back the mouthfeel, bring back the body, etc., together with a sweetness replacer, for instance. So same case because it has that direct impact on the texture. So that's why it can also address some gaps that will be present in the mouthfeel, juiciness, body, and creaminess. So for the aspect of food plus, if let's say you fortify the product, so sometimes there are some restrictions with regards to the taste of nutritional ingredients. There are some vitamins that has inherent aftertaste effect that will not be beneficial to the overall taste of the product. Let's say, for example, it can give off note, bitterness, astringency, green note, etc. So these also need to be repaired. So that's why a sensory modulator is needed to do that. So our Mojumax will be able to do the masking of those unwanted note. Yeah? Is that clear? Did I answer your question?
No. No.
Yes, we do sell it in the market. Yeah. I'm not sure if we presented it to you back then because I visited
No.
Foodex before pre-pandemic time. So
During
yeah.
FIA, yeah. Sure. Was
Yeah,
it?
Yesy, can you ever recall last time when we visited with Ivana if we introduced Mojomax to them? I have a copy of that presentation that we shared with them, but I cannot exactly recall if Mojomax was part of the content.
I
It's
think
long.
we promoted before, but maybe Pak Wahyu didn't join at that time.
Ah, okay, understand. Yeah.
Long
Okay.
time ago, almost 4 years
Yeah, long
ago,
time
I think.
ago. Yeah, so if you would like to know more about this product, we can do a separate presentation for these so that you will know further details, what types of applications we have explored it and use it, what are our success stories to date, that this sort of information, we can also share it with you.
Tapi jelas ya Pak Wahyu, itu jadi untuk yang deliver authentic taste itu bisa dari yeast extract, bisa dari process flavor, bisa dari sensory modulators yang tadi Syara bilang Modumax. Kemudian untuk yang benerin texture dan mouthfeel-nya itu bisa dari hydrocolloid sama bisa dari sensory modulator si Modumax. Jadi si Modumax ini ada dua fungsi, dia bisa dari deliver authentic taste sama benerin mouthfeel juga gitu. Nah, ini Modul Max dulu udah pernah di present hampir 4 tahun lalu, cuma mungkin Pak Wahyu nggak join waktu itu. Kalau Pak Wahyu tertarik, nanti kita bisa bikin sesi terpisah. Karena si Modul Max ini memang menarik sih, karena dia declare-nya sebagai natural flavor. Jadi dia bukan di declare sebagai yeast extract kalau si Modul Max. Oke. Okay, Syara.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that question. So to move along, now let's talk about what are the specific products that we have identified to be suitable and found effective for plant-based applications. So for plant-based meat alternatives, these are the products that we have found to be able to address those pain points that I just shared a while ago. So let's discuss them one by one. So for masking of off notes and delivering umami and taste enhancement, we have our range called Maxarome. So you can see here 4 products: Maxarome Premium, Select, Pure, and Ultra. So this is basically a group of yeast extract containing high amount of naturally occurring nucleotides. So the natural I plus G. And therefore, you can expect for this product to really deliver very good umami enhancement and long-lasting taste effect. So these umami compounds are also believed to be able to mask certain off notes. So if you are working on plant-based products, you use a soy protein, a pea protein. This range of Maxarome, Maxarome Premium, Select, and Pure or Ultra will be able to also do the masking of those off notes. So the difference among these products are just the level of the nucleotides. So the premium here has the lowest amount, 6%, and then the highest is Ultra, containing 30% of nucleotides. So depending on your recipe and your requirement, it will vary depending on the choice of ingredient. So if you would like to have neutral taste of yeast extract and just looking for enhancement of umami, then we will recommend to use Maxarome Pure or Ultra. But if let's say you want an added taste dimension to it, improve meatiness as well, have some added savory complex taste, then you can go for Premium or Select. So these are basically the differences among these products. But whenever we talk about masking of off note and having umami taste enhancement, then we normally go for Maxarome. Then if we talk about juiciness or succulence, again, because most of our plant-based products tend to be dry, so we would like to improve its mouthfeel, juiciness, and succulence, we normally use these 3 products. So we have Multirome LS, Gistex Ham LS, and Maxarome Nikumi. So when you see a product name that contains LS abbreviation in our label, that stands for low salt. So Multirom LS here is low salt. It has 10% of salt. The Gistex Ham LS is also a low salt type of yeast extract. It has less than 1% of salt. And Maxarome Nikumi. So the difference among these three products, Multirom LS is a yeast extract that still contains a fraction of the cell wall component. And when you have that cell wall component, this is the one that will be able to provide extra mouthfeel on top of taste and also umami lingering character. So it's like, let's say, a 3-in-1 type of product. So if you would like taste, mouthfeel, juiciness, and also a little bit of umami, then you will go for Multirom. If it's about enhancement of juiciness, but really not much on mouthfeel, then Gistex Hameles will be the right choice. Gistex Hameles is our yeast extract that contains relatively high amount of glutamic acid. So the acid component or the acid part of like what you normally found in MSG, although in MSG it's in the salt form of glutamate, but here in Gistex Hameles, it's in the amino acid format, which is the glutamic acid. So this is rich in that, containing about 9.5% of glutamic acid. That's why somehow it can mimic the same delivery of enhancement in juiciness and succulence. Like normally when you consume MSG, there's also this salivating effect. So that's also can be translated to juiciness and succulence. So for Gistex Hameles, you can expect the same, but of course you cannot compare them 100% like apple to apple to an MSG behavior because MSG is pure MSG, whereas Gistex Hameles is a yeast extract. Yeah. Then the last one, Maxarome Nikumi, is a special blend of different types of yeast extract. This is actually a product that will address more on deepness, richness of taste and texture. So for example, when we consume, if you've heard about the term kokumi, which is more familiar in a Japanese market because it started in Japan. Yeah, koku taste is defined for having that rich, deep taste, which is also succulence and juiciness related. So that's why Maxarome Nikumi also is a product that can enhance that koku taste, which indirectly can also influence perception of juiciness and succulence. That's why we also use this product for this particular attribute or pain point to address. Then the third category is about the flavor, the taste, the meaty taste in particular. Like I said a while ago, plant-based meat alternatives might be lacking of meaty taste and meaty flavor because essentially there's no meat source in there. So that's why we need these kinds of products, these processed flavors, to be able to provide that meaty taste direction. And we have the Maxavor range here. So for the Maxavor range, we have different types of products. We have the keys, which are typically the concentrated, so ultra concentrated processed flavors. They are very strong and that you will only need a very small amount of dosage in your application. Maxavor YE is our blended type of yeast extract, but it's a natural type of product, so it can be declared as natural. And the non-natural counterpart of that is the RYE, which we call Maxavor Rye. So this is the non-natural version of the Maxavor YE. Also another blended type. So these range of products have undergone Maillard reaction. So they're basically cooked. That's why you could expect them to have a specific tonality, a specific flavor profile, be it taste like a chicken, a beef, a white meat, dark meat, roast meat, etc. And the last but not the least, the Maxavor Rye N. So this Rye N is the natural version also of the rye. So you might ask us, what's the difference? YE is also natural. Rye N is also natural. So basically, the Maxavor YE is a global palette. It's available globally in this DSM. This is really our original natural version of processed flavors. But however, because the market changed with regards to their needs, so we have to adapt. And there are some markets, particularly in our region, in APAC, that requires the natural version of this specific profile of product. So that's why DSM upgraded this into a natural version. So I would say this is an exact match of this in the natural form. And this is basically, we normally sell in markets like Japan, Korea, So if you will be catering to these markets for export, so these will be the products that we might be able to recommend. So last, in terms of the attribute and the pain point that we need to address and what are our suitable solutions. So for low salt type of product, we have our Maxavor Rye LS. So these Rye LS are Maxavor flavors in the beef, taste, and white meat direction that also contain low salt. So if you want the natural version, you go for the Rye N. But if you want the low salt version, however non-natural, then you will go for the Maxavor Rye LS. So these are the different types of products that we have in DSM that we normally use for our plant-based product application. So this is basically the whole taste toolbox with regards to plant-based meat alternatives. So if we talk about plant-based fish and seafood, DSM also recently launched two types of products that are considered vegan. So they are fish-free, fish flavor. So we have mackerel and we have whiting. So Maxavor fish mackerel is actually a yeast extract-based processed flavor that has a profile of an oily, a little bit metallic, dark fish meat character. Whereas the whiting is the sweet, umami, clean, clear white fish meat. So basically two different directions or profiles that will suit your different needs. So if you need for an oily type of fish, go for mackerel. If you want a more clean, subtle fish flavor, seafood flavor, taste delivery, then you go for the whiting. So we have already some good successes of these products in our region, and they are also very versatile and also natural. So it ticks all the boxes in terms of the challenging requirements for coming up with a clean label, natural and vegan or fish-free type of fish flavor. So as I mentioned a while ago, I keep on highlighting about the salt because this is really becoming a challenging aspect for plant-based products, and also the main one of the main factors that's being addressed by most food manufacturers. So for us, instead of adding salt, we'd rather add the taste. So therefore, we can create different layers of taste within the product application of plant-based meat or plant-based fish. So for us, we have this masking of off notes coming from Maxarome range. I just explained it a while ago. Those Maxarome products will be able to mask the off notes. And we have the Multirome, the Gistex Hum, and also the Maxarome Nikumi that can enhance the succulence and juiciness. And then we also have the range of Maxavor that will provide the flavor, be it in chicken direction, beef direction, or white meat or roast. So adding all these three different layers of taste components will be able to address fully all those attributes that are important to the consumers. So we are adding these three layers of taste attributes rather than the salt part. So for the salt part, we have a lot of options in terms of the right ingredients to use. So we have all those LS versions, and also within the context of the formulation of the recipe matrix itself. So you can also regulate the salt added. Now let's talk about nutrition aspects. So I've already done the first part, more on the taste, and now let's move on to the nutrition part. So we all know that there are also some nutritional gaps in the plant-based meat and plant-based fish alternatives. So in fact, there are when you go vegan or vegetarian diet, you will be missing a lot of important nutrients as well. So typically these are the vitamins, the vitamin Bs in particular. These are very much lacking in some of the plant-based food or plant-based diets. With regards to minerals, you will be missing on zinc, selenium, iron. So there are already these gaps with regards to the nutritional profile of plant-based products. So that's why there is a need to bring them back or bring it in to these types of product applications. And that is an opportunity for us in DSM because we have all the tools and the available solutions to augment this gap. And likewise, most consumers are very much aware that they will be missing out on all these types of vitamins and nutrients when they go for an elimination type of diet. So in fact, 85% of them, those that we have surveyed in our consumer survey study, mentioned that they will be missing out on those nutritional components. So that's why 60% of them will seek added vitamins and minerals in any of their future food choices. So even in the context of the plant-based food products, they will be looking out for these added vitamins, minerals, or other nutritional ingredients that will make their overall experience much better for their health and well-being. So we have actually more specific products that we can share with you. So if you will be interested to know more about those details, we can also share it with you in a probably in a different session, or if you want additional further details from us, we can also share it with you. Okay, so now I just would like to share with you some of the application demos that we have developed. So these are just basically concepts that we have come up with just to demonstrate how we use those products that I shared with you, those tools that I've mentioned that are suitable for this type of application, and what are those products that we have selected. So I will basically just run through them quickly, and if you have any particular question or inquiry on a per concept basis, please feel free to voice it out, and then I will try to address it. So first example is the DSM burger. So this is our version of the plant-based burger, and we use our multi-roam LS for improvement of juiciness and succulence and mouthfeel, and we paired it with Maxarome Premium for off-note masking and also improving the overall taste and balance of the burger itself. And then to add flavor in the direction of beef, we added our Maxavor Rye BN, so the natural version of the beef. And then another version where we added the LS, so for low salt. So we give our customers different versions, different opportunities in terms of the different types of formats or different types of prototypes that you can create out of these tools. So we have an enhanced version that will showcase improvement on juiciness and mouthfeel. And then we have a version that will complete with the flavor profile of beef, but also natural declaration. And then another version that will also address the need for low salt. So these are the different, typically different types of products that we normally use to address the taste part. And then we also have our solution for improving the overall nutritional quality of our product. So that's why we added our vitamin premix. So the vitamin premix will basically fortify the burger. So to address those gaps that we have identified previously that is lacking in the typical plant-based products. So what we did, we tried to really look into the need of the market. So these vitamin premix are tailored fit to the need of ASEAN countries. So like Indonesia, we have considered what is lacking in the Indonesian market for the nutritional aspect of different vitamins and minerals. And that's what we have included in the premix. Likewise, we also have solution for texture. I've mentioned a while ago that we have some hydrocolloids that can also improve the overall texture property of the product. So here we used our Gelanier HD. So this is a gelan gum that can also improve the texture of burger and come up with a more authentic meat-like texture for it. So in combination with all these solutions, it's safe to say that DSM becomes like your one-stop shop company where it will be able to address all those solutions needed for taste, for texture, and for nutrition for plant-based type of product. So this is one example, DSM burger. Then we also have our own version for the chicken burger. So we try to really come up with different taste tonalities because there are some countries in Asia where chicken is the first or most common flavor profile. So here, it's basically the same principle as how I explained in the beef burger. So here we just changed the chicken flavor to a chicken roast. and the chicken ricey LS. But basically, same principle. The second version of enhanced is adding the taste, and then natural as well. And the last version is addressing the need for low salt. So again, we also use the same, the Multirome LS and Maxarome Premium combination to address improvement in juiciness, succulence, mouthfeel, off-note masking, and also umami. So do you have any questions so far? Any question on the concept? None? All clear? Okay. Because it's we have the water. First water is to hydrate the TVP, the soy TVP, and the other water is to form the whole emulsion or the whole mix of the burger. Yeah, so water one will be used to hydrate first your soy TVP. The other set of water is for the whole mixture. Sorry, can you say it again? Room temperature water will do. If you would like to know even like the specific details of our procedure or method, we can also share it with you. Yeah, so this is the plant-based chicken burger, and we also come up with meatball. So we have a plant-based chicken ball, the same set of ingredients that were used in the chicken burger. So you can see how flexible our ingredients. If you would like to come up with different formats, different types of applications, you can use the same set of tools. So you don't need to have different SKUs in your portfolio. So that's also the intention of us sharing with you these different concepts so that we can also share that flexibility of our products. So here it's the chicken ball. And then for the plant-based beef ball, yeah, which we also use the same tools that were used in the burger. And then, yes, Eddie?
The beef ball and the chicken ball is the IKEA type of meatball,
Yes,
right? Okay.
you're correct.
Yeah, because just to clarify, because Indonesia has different kind of meatball, which is starch based, not like the IKEA one. Yeah.
Pure starch.
With a little bit of meat, yeah, but the texture is different. It's more like how you say? It's more firm. It's more like a fish cake kind of taste. The texture, yeah, the texture is slightly different. Yeah. Jadi Bapak Ibu itu baksonya yang teksturnya mirip IKEA ya, bukan yang kayak bakso abang-abang di Indo itu. Dia agak beda. Ini there's Ibu Esther ada mau tanya ya, Bu?
Yes, iya Pak Edi.
Mau tanya apa, Bu?
Do you sell this separately or do you have premixes for all of these ingredients?
You mean maksudnya you mean for the yeast extract, vitamins, and the hydrocolloid?
Yeah, Multirome, Maxarome, Maxafor.
Oh.
Can we use it separately or can we buy it premixes? Premix.
Okay, so for the vitamins it's already in premix form, and then for the hydrocolloid we sell it separately. For the yeast extract, actually we can sell it separately, but please correct me if I'm wrong, Shara, but we also have a blend of yeast extract and processed flavor, right?
Yes, we can also do that. However, there are some criteria to satisfy for us to blend, because we also do customized solutions, but there will be a volume requirement, something like that, to be able to blend the specific types of product that you would like to be mixed all together.
How about the product like GB Select, Shara?
Yes, GB Select.
Is there any like existing GB Select that can be used for plant-based meat?
Not yet. For
Not yet,
APAC region, not yet.
Okay.
We do have one that's available, but it's not yet being sold to Asian market, just still for Europe. market.
Europe ya,
Yeah.
for Europe regulation ya.
Yeah, correct.
Oke, iya. Jadi gitu Bu Esther. Untuk yeast extract proses flavornya bisa dipakai individual, bisa juga kita mixing. Tapi kalau mixing ada minimum quantity-nya karena itu customized kan Bu. Tapi possible kalau misalnya ada potensi atau request dari Bu Esther.
Berarti nanti menyesuaikan sama kebutuhan kita aja gitu ya Pak ya.
Betul, betul. Tapi kalau misalnya Ibu rencananya develop plant-based meat-nya ada beberapa tipe, beberapa SKU, mungkin lebih enak sih pakai yang individual ya Bu, karena dosisnya kan untuk tiap SKU kan mungkin beda-beda kan. Jadi kalau misalnya udah dibikin premix, mungkin rasanya belum tentu masuk untuk yang beef ke yang chicken gitu kan. Walaupun sebenarnya komposisinya most likely mirip-mirip gitu.
Oh ya, mau tanya Pak, ini yang ada kontrol enhance 1, 2, 3 tadi. Itu tadi ada perbedaannya nggak sih Pak antara kontrol enhance 1, 2, 3 apa yang sebelah kanan itu penjelasannya atau dengan complete ingredients itu better texture or better taste rather than single ingredients?
There is actually difference. Kalau kontrol itu kan dia nggak ada rasanya ya Bu. Dia cuma tekstur sama vitaminnya doang. Nah kalau yang di enhance itu kan dia udah ada multirom sama maxarom premium. Jadi dia tuh lebih ngasih ke rasa umami, rasa juicy sama nutupin bau bininya. Nah tapi kalau enhance 2 sama enhance 3 itu udah ada direction ya Bu, udah ada flavornya, udah ada rasa beefnya. Bedanya cuma pilihan
Harus sama itu ya Pak.
sebenarnya dua-duanya
Roast beef
sama-sama
tadi.
dua-duanya sama-sama roast beef. Cuma yang enhance 2 itu kalau Ibu perlu yang statusnya natural. Kalau yang enhance 3 kalau Ibu nggak perlu yang natural itu bisa yang ketiga. Sama yang ketiga itu dia rendah sodium. Kalau LS itu kan singkatannya low salt kan. Jadi kalau Ibu ada project yang rendah sodium bisa pakai tipe beef yang Raibi LS itu yang di nomor 3 gitu. Oke. Ada lagi yang mau ditanyakan? Okay, I think Sharaf can continue.
Okay, thank you, Eddie. So some additional examples. So we also have the DSM plant-based meatball, so general meat. The same here, we use our white meat. And for the LS version, we use the Max Variety LS. So just different sets of tonalities of flavors depending on the requirement. If you would like to come up with the chicken version, beef version, and white meat or general meat version. So it's the same in terms of the tools that were used. Then we also have the plant-based basil minced chicken stir fry. So as I mentioned a while ago, for example, if you're familiar with the brand of Omni Meat or Omni Pork, yeah, maybe, but it's more of Omni Meat for Indonesian market. So this one is producing a plant-based means stir fry products, either beef, chicken, or general meat, which is also very good to use for home cooked meals or home meal replacements type of products. So for this one, we tried to use our chicken roast, the same that was used in the chicken ball and also in the chicken burger. And then the Maxover Rice LS, so the low salt version of the chicken, yeah, to provide the chicken taste. So we used another hydrocolloid or another stabilizer that's used in a DSM to improve the binding property of the minced meat. So, and also to come up with a juicy meat-like texture for the minced type of meat. So here we use the stabilizer from DSM with code 1891. So it's basically a blend of different types of texturants and hydrocolloids. So also we added it with our vitamin premix to improve the overall nutritional quality. So if you would just like to have some sort of entirely new concepts, this is just an example.
Sure.
Yeah, Eddie.
I think I saw one question from the audience from Ibu Rahmi. Does the texture and taste of DSM plant-based is stable in high temperature. In this case, is retort. Is the maxophore and the hydrocolloid can withstand the high processing temperature.
Yes, I think one good example that will demonstrate that is the next prototype, which is the plant-based meat dumpling. So the dumpling has undergone cooking, boiling, steaming, etc., which is typically very high temperature and different steps of processing. So yes, it's safe to say, and we are confident to inform you that these products, both the hydrocolloids and as well as the processed flavors, are very much stable in different types of processing conditions. So they can withstand long heating treatment, extreme temperature parameters. And the processed flavors is specifically, there's no problem there because it's a reacted type of yeast extract. The more you apply heat treatment to it, the more that the flavor will even further develop. So instead of weakening it, it will further intensify. So that's also one of the good benefits of the yeast extract-based processed flavors compared to, for example, if you use a top note flavor that is typically made out of aroma compounds, aroma chemicals that will typically dissipate upon further processing. And that is not the case here when you use a yeast extract processed flavor.
Ya, jadi untuk menambahkan yang Syera jelaskan tadi, Bu Rahmi, untuk proses flavornya sendiri itu sebenarnya kita udah ada pakai sih, udah ada supply ke retort produk juga dan tahan suhu tinggi. Selain itu juga selain di plant based sama di retort, proses flavor kita juga pernah cobain di kerupuk. Nah, di kerupuk itu kan juga ada proses penggorengan, ada steaming, ada pengeringan di oven. Nah, setelah kita cobain ini rasanya masih tetap ada. Then there's a next question, Shara, from Bu S.
Can I also just add also in there to further support that query? We are also selling to HMMA type of product. So remember this type of HMMA, the high moisture type of meat alternatives that is being processed, typically they are retorted. So temperature range of 120 to 30 degrees Celsius, pasteurization of about 20 to 30 minutes. We are selling to this type of processing conditions, and our products are found to be stable. Not just even the yeast extract-based processed flavor, but likewise for our general yeast extract. So for example, Multirome LS. So this is also a product that can withstand this kind of retort processing condition.
Ya, HMMA itu high moisture meat analog. Jadi dia kayak TVP tapi yang basah gitu. HMMA is sort of like a sliced TVP, right, Shara?
Yes, correct. It's a sliced, yeah. It's typically extruded, high moisture,
And then another question from Bu Esther. Do you mean if we use white meat, we don't need to add salt? Maksudnya gimana, Bu Esther?
Di formulasinya Pak Edi, itu ada pakai white meat tapi saltnya di remove ya?
Yeah, okay. Question. Yeah, very good eagle eye. So the reason why we remove the salt here because the Maxavor white meat already has some salt contribution. So the percentages that you are seeing here, these are the salt level of the yeast extract. So for white meat, it contains 38% of salt. So that's why we have corrected the salt level across all different samples so that we make sure that the control and the enhanced versions will practically have exactly the same level of salt content. So here, the reason why we remove the salt is because the Maxavor white meat already contributes that salt part. So we calculated how much white meat has in terms of salt. And then when we found out, yeah, that's already sufficient enough not to add anything at all.
Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Okay, no problem. Anything else? So if there's none, then I will move on to the next concept. So the next one is a plant-based fishbowl. So another one. Here, this is an interesting concept for us because, yeah, we used our new product, the Maxavor fish, so the whiting and the meat, to improve the fish flavor. We also actually have before we did our own fish ball using the fish paste ingredient, but this is now really a vegan version, and we were happy that in fact the Maxavor fish can really lift the overall fish taste of the product and also mask the soy protein note. So we have detected a much better fish flavor delivery in the product. So here we combine it with Basetex. So Basetex is our yeast extract that is made 100% of a cell wall component. So this doesn't have any taste. You will not expect it to contribute any taste and neither umami enhancement. So it will not give you umami, it will not give you taste. But the reason why we're adding this product is because of two things. So Basetex being made out of a cell wall component has also a very good binding property. So it can retain the moisture in the certain type of application, like here in this case, the fishball. And in fishball, it's very important to retain that as much moisture as you can. That will impact the texture, the mouthfeel, and the yield when you produce this kind of product. And Basetex does that. And aside from that, as a bonus, it can also improve the enhancement of spices if you ever added something in your recipe. So in this sample, for example, in this demo, we added a white pepper. So somehow also this Basetex can also improve or even further enhance the spice notes. But if you don't want the spice notes to be further improved, you want like it to be just a background taste, then of course you can regulate the dosage required. So in combination with the Maxavor fish, we were able to address these two aspects of taste contributed by the fish flavor. And then for the improvement of succulence and the water retention, water binding property in the emulsion of the fish ball, yeah, we use the Basetex. So same, we also have another stabilizer blend that will be good to guard the freeze-thaw stability and also good moisture retention and firmness of texture for a vegan fish ball. So we use our in-house stabilizer blend. And then we have a specific vitamin premix that will improve and address the nutritional requirement for those that are lacking in the plant-based seafood product. Because for plant-based fish balls, yeah, there are also some vitamins and minerals that will be lacking as compared to the real seafood product. So that's the fish ball. Then we also have the plant-based tuna flakes and in sunflower oil. So I've mentioned a while ago that the next big thing in this category that's in the pipeline of most manufacturers are seafood and fish. So that's why, in fact, we've been receiving a lot of queries from tuna makers for solutions for plant-based tuna. So that's the reason why we also come up with our own version of this type of product and using our own Maxavor fish whiting and Maxavor fish mackerel to improve the seafood taste and also mask the TVP note. In this particular product for vegan fish tuna, I would say masking of off note is the strongest challenge to address. Because tuna, as you know, tuna or seafood is much milder in taste delivery compared to meat. So that's why it will be very challenging to address off-note and beanie taste coming from your plant-based protein source. So here we were able to mask certain off-note character with the use of our Maxavor fish.
And Shara, just
Yeah.
on the tuna flakes, I think recently the OmniFood they launched the Omni Tuna, right? Also in can. So I think Maxafo Fish is a really good product because most of the fish flavor available in the market is not
Natural.
vegetarian suitable. Yeah, it's not
Correct.
vegetarian or it's not natural.
Yeah.
And then most of these products are retort.
Yeah.
And when you retort this flavor, either you will not be able to declare as vegan or vegetarian, or you
Yeah.
will have an oxidized fish flavor.
Correct.
Yeah, because it contains the natural fish component, which is easily oxidized. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So that's why Maxivore fish is really very suitable in this type of application because those pain points that Eddie just mentioned have already been addressed or factored in when we develop this product. So to help food manufacturers a much label friendly and also process friendly type of product to use. Yeah, actually, we have a recent success story on this product for Maxivore fish. Yeah, it's being used in one of the countries in APAC for for a tuna canned product. So to improve the overall taste of it as well. And yeah, Maxivore fish is a vegan declarable type of product because it's made out of a plant algae.
And also share there's another customer, right, where they use the Maxapho fish in the canned tuna for cost reduction purpose, right? Because
Yes,
not
correct.
enough fish, so they
Yes,
replace with TVP and enhance the fish note with the Maxapho fish, right? If I
correct.
remember
You're right.
correctly.
So
Yeah.
we also have a couple of customers who are in dilemma with regards to the supply, the consistency of supply of the fish or the tuna. Because as you all know right now, due to climate change, there is really a difficulty with regards to the enough supply of fish and marine animals. Actually, not just in APAC, all over the globe. So that's why some manufacturers are looking at solutions on how they can address this supply problem and as well as cost. So we had actually a project whereby there was a trust to combine TVP with tuna, 70-30 ratio. For example, 70% of real tuna, 30% of TVP. So, but there will be a gap in terms of taste by doing that. So that's why we actually use our Maxivore fish, yeah, to help augment the gap in the dilution of the tuna with TVP and also mask the off note coming from the TVP. So yeah, we were able to successfully do that with the use of our Maxivore fish. And by doing that, not just improving the taste, yeah, the customer was also able to have some cost savings. Another example where you can use Maxivore fish is in a vegan fish nuggets or fish pieces. So here we use our Maxivore fish whiting at 3.5%. So it was able to create a more balanced, sweet, fatty fish profile where the juicy aftertaste was enhanced and at the same time the TVP note was masked. So for this particular demo, if you notice, we used a hydrated rice TVP. So for seafood, sometimes it will also be challenging to use the right protein source. So here, since seafood is much more delicate, much more subtle in taste, so that's why we use the rice TVP instead of the more common and much typically stronger note of TVP-based product like the soy, the pea base, which are typically much stronger in taste. So we opted to use the rice TVP type so that it's also a little bit more white in color. Yeah, but I will already just probably preempt in telling you that when you add the Maxivore fish, there is indeed going to be an added color somehow because that's inherent. As you know, the shade of color of yeast extracts are typically from off beige to light brownish type. So because of this, there is really a little bit of a color contribution to it. So if that will be of a concern for you, but the good thing about it, since this is a buttered type, so like a fish nugget, so it is still somehow covered of the butter, so not much really like if it's going to be a concern, it's just secondary, but it's most important is that the taste delivers with regards to the flavor of fish. Last sample that I'll be sharing is the vegan fish sandwich filling. So this is also a concept where you can come up with a fish sandwich filling. So we use both the Maxivore fish and the Maxivore whiting. So here we actually combined a gluten and pea protein type of TVP. So as you can see, we've tried to really use all forms, all different types of protein sources to also demonstrate the flexibility of our ingredients, because sometimes we often receive queries whereby, are your ingredients, the yeast extracts and the processed flavors, only good for soy protein? Is it only good for pea? So the answer is no. It's very flexible. You can use it across all different types of protein sources, even if you're considering pulses. Yeah, because now there's a current supply problem with regards to soy protein. So if you will be exploring different types of protein, yeah, our products are also very much applicable, and it will be complementing them. So here it's the Maxiver fish, mackerel, and whiting were used to add the fish note and also mask the TVP note. To sum up with regards to the taste and texture ingredients that we shared with you today, so we have the taste toolbox for meat, and then we have the texture toolbox for meat and fish, for the texturants that will be able to help you come up with a much better, more authentic meat-like or fish-like texture. So for taste, to address juiciness and succulence and mouthfeel, you can go for Multirome LS, Gistex Hameles, or Maxarome Nicomi. If it will be more of off-note masking, adding of umami, and enhancing the overall taste, then you can go for the Maxarome Premium, Maxarome Select, as an example. And for meat taste directions, so we have the Maxavor range, be it for chicken, beef, or for Indonesia market, white meat, yeah, because of pork is for halal reasons. So, but rest assured that all our products, the white meats are all halal. So you can select either it's for natural declaration or for non-natural declaration. And for low salt, yet full of flavor types of products. So if you need a really low salt range, we have the Maxavor Rye LS. And for your seafood needs, for fish flavors, then you can opt for the Maxavor Fish Whiting and the Maxavor Fish Mackerel. So for authenticity and the texture, we have the Gelanier and also some stabilizers to improve the binding property and the freeze-thaw stability of certain applications. So yeah, in a nutshell, yeah, these are some of the solutions that we have in DSM. So I hope you find something that will be of interest to some of the projects that you're working on. If you need further support from us in application, technical details, specific requirements, yeah, just please feel free to let us know, and we're more than happy to support. This, I think, is the last part of my slide. Is there any other questions that you would like to raise? Any clarification?
Ada pertanyaan dari tim Foodex, Bapak Ibu? Iya, boleh. Nanti konteks ke Yesi aja, nanti sampelnya bisa di-provide. Kira-kira kalau dari Foodex, itu rencananya untuk develop seasoningnya atau develop end produknya ya, Pak? Develop end produknya maksudnya plant-based meat analog. Oh, ready to eat. Tapi yang berarti udah berbumbu ya Pak kalau ready to eat ya, yang udah di retort ya. Oke oke. Oh jadi ini lebih ke internal ya Pak, karena Foodex ada sister company juga kan Pak untuk yang bikin meat process ya. Oke. Jadi nggak di sister company-nya ya Pak ya, bukan di sister company-nya ya. Di Foodex-nya. Oke oke. Iya. Kira-kira udah tahu Pak arahannya ke rasa apa gitu Pak? Ke beef, chicken. Oh, masih dalam tahap eksplorasi ya. Ya, boleh Pak. Nanti kalau misalnya udah ada direction atau kebutuhan sampel bisa disampaikan langsung aja.
Eddie,
ya, Sarah.
sorry, are you finished? It's okay. Go ahead first when you're finished.
No, I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw there's a question raised by Lavinia. She asked, how do you determine the dosage YE required for plant-based application? So I think, in terms of the dosages that we need to apply for plant-based meat application, well, basically it's already based on our know-how with regards to the different types of savory applications that we have used and we have explored globally. DSM has already established the recommended dosages. So say, for example, for meat, we have already set the dosage requirements or the suggested dosage rates for all these types of yeast extracts. So we based it on the amino acid profile, the taste profile of the product, and then from there, we just try to adapt the dosage raised and we adjust accordingly. So let's say whatever we put in the recipe here that you will see, these are basically our guidelines, but depending on the ingredients that will be used by our customers as well as the type of recipes that you are working on, you can adjust it accordingly. So normally those dosage rates that we have included in our recipes, you can use them as a starting guideline and then you can work it up from there. Lavinia, did I answer your question? Okay, thank you. Yeah, she said all right.
Oke. Ada lagi yang perlu ditanyakan?
Pak Edi punya yang sampel finish good-nya nggak? Maksudnya prototype untuk produknya?
Sebenarnya ada sih, Bu. Cuma beberapa kali kita kirim ke Indo basi karena di customnya itu bisa nyangkut seminggu.
Karena harus dari sana ya, dari luar ya Pak, nggak di sini ya bikinnya.
Dari Singapura sih.
Oh, Singapura.
Kirimnya dari Singapura. Kita udah kirim pakai ice pack, tapi tetap aja pas sampai-sampainya udah gembung produknya.
Oh gitu.
Iya. Tapi nanti saya ada rencana pulang Indo sih, ntar kalau bisa saya bawain.
Oke, baik Pak.
You have extra set, right, Shara, for the application sample? It's just we cannot send it.
Yes, we have. We have it available, correct? Yeah, I'm not sure if we send. Because sometimes right now unpredictable the customs.
Yeah, so I said to Bu Esther, because I'm planning to go back to Jakarta, right? So maybe I can hand carry one set.
Maybe when you are able to, just let us know. Yeah, we can prepare the samples for you.
Iya. Tapi mesti ambil di hotel saya ya, Bu, karena kan saya di karantina. Kalau nungguin saya keluar karantina keburu basi kayaknya.
Nanti ya Pak.
Hah, kenapa Bu?
Saya semprot dulu sampelnya berarti nanti ya.
Iya benar. Di UV dulu, Bu. Iya. Gitu. Oke. Udah nggak ada pertanyaan lagi ya kelihatannya ya, Ibu sama Bapak. Udah. Looks like no more questions, Shara.
Yeah.
So they will let us know which sample they would like to have for the trial. They will make a request to Yesi, and then we will share this presentation as well to Foodex team. So Yesi, do you have anything to add?
Nanti kalau ada sampelnya bisa diinfo aja ya Bu Esther, Pak Wahyu.
Iya Bu.
Kenapa? Nanti ke Bu Yesi deh paling yang ngambil ke hotel.
Kalau bisa ya, ada ya tuh. Takutnya kan nggak boleh ditemuin kalau karantina.
Langsung taruh resepsionis.
Taruh resepsionis paling.
Kayak begitu landing karena nggak bisa keluar lagi kalau udah masuk ke taman hotel.
Oh gitu ya. Oh oke. Berarti.
Oh ya, begitu nyampe hotel titip
di resepsionis gitu.
Oke. Iya. Oke.
Nanti diatur lagi Pak kalau
ntar diatur lagi. Karena mau pulang juga izinnya agak ribet Pak, mesti mesti make sure saya dapat izin masuk Singapura lagi. Kalau enggak, ntar saya nggak bisa pulang ke sini. Gitu. Okay, so I think everything is good. Thank you, Shara, for presenting, Yesi and Amel, and thank you Fudex team for the time and the opportunity, Bu Esther, Pak Wahyu, Mbak Rahmi, Mbak Lavinia, and Mbak Dian. Ya, so thank you. Yeah, and have a nice day ahead, and look forward for your next update. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Oke, Syara.
Bye.